Hello, hello. So I recently got my first win in getting over it with Bennett Foddy. That was specifically yesterday. I got a first win time of 3 hours, promptly did another run right after that and got 20 minutes. And now my best tends to be around 14. I could do better, but there are a couple of areas that I am not as consistent on. But the reason that I am making this video is because I found that there were some sections that were not as well explained for beginners as they could be. So I just kind of wanted to go over the bits that I got stuck on and hope that I can explain them better. So yeah. You got your two main methods of locomotion. Your regular sweeping motion. Oh, I should make sure he does not talk. And you've got your pogo. Both are good. It's situational to what you want. For example, you can't really sweep over here very easily, but you can definitely pogo. And then sweep. If you wanted to, you could even pogo off this. Doesn't really get you any faster, but you can do it. Similar with that. Pogo up here. Gotta use your leverage to its best. Whee. This bit here, you can wedge yourself into this rock and swing yourself around, but I find it is very easy to get stuck and just launch yourself over the edge, which is one of the first easy frustrations to get. Yay! Similarly, another area that ended up being a frustration as a beginner, this metal thing is slippery for no damn reason. But as long as you take it slow and steady, then you don't have to worry about it. Emphasis on the steady. The slow isn't as important, you'll find, with a lot of slopes, as much as being steady. But this was my first big hitch, because I couldn't figure out how the bloody hell people were getting up here. There were some methods that I found others were doing, but mine is just to wedge yourself up here, and fling yourself over. And from here, launch yourself up to this one up here. And the second bit that I got really stuck at was this wall. Because it is the first bit of vertical movement and is repeated right at the end too, which I thought was a nice little roundabout. But I find as long as you are slow but deliberate in your latching your hammer onto this wall, then you're usually good. Like so. I've noticed that sometimes it gets a little more stuck than others. So, just be persistent. It's also a very grippy wall. Pogo, catch, slow catch, slow catch, slow catch. It is nice if you land yourself up there, but not guaranteed. This bit's just a nice, simple rappel around. There is a shortcut if you latch yourself up to this ceiling here, and just launch yourself all the way up there. I can't do that. I'm probably not going to try. I'm no speed demon. I just wanted to finish it. This bit is also another slippery bit. I find either just pogo yourself up here, or if you just wrap your hammer around, you can get up nice and easy. And then you just want to aim your hammer straight up and launch. Nice and easy. Launch yourself around. This slide is also very slippery, so nice and steady. And from here, it's as simple as just getting your hammer up here. Nice and steady once more. No need to rush. Launch yourself over. I'm usually more consistent at that, but you know, stuff happens. Once you get used to that section, it's actually very hard to fall down from there. Launch yourself over. There we go. This bit here tends to give a lot of people a bit of a hard time as well. I could not find any good explanations for this section for the life of me. But I found that just slowly leveraging yourself over the edge, and when you're about this angle, just launch yourself, and you can just hammer yourself between the walls. Because once you're up here, it's nice and simple. Aim yourself at the security camera, you can catch yourself on here, drop yourself down, and then usually the angle's already perfect. Because it's just a matter of flinging yourself around there. Whee! As you can see, it's very hard to fall down from here, which is good, because this section took me a long time to get. But, same as before. Oh. Let's catch myself. Slow and steady. Launch, catch. Because it's also easy for your hammer to get caught in that little spot there. And if you're not careful with it, it will send you flying. Whee! There we go. Once you're up here, it's usually pretty straightforward. It's very easy to get yourself caught on these chairs and fling yourself backwards. Not fun. And I usually just launch myself slow off the side of this couch. You can just let yourself fall down and then launch. I am one to say, screw this orange. You get in my way, orange. And this was the bit that had me stuck for days. This is the bit that taught me it's not necessarily about the slow and steady as much as the steady. Because you can go slow, but if you're shaken as you go, then it is going to just have you slide all the way down. So you can be a little quicker. I tend to find having yourself to the right as much as possible and paying attention to the flattest portions is the easiest way. Now, this one in particular doesn't really have any super flat spots. So I find having yourself over to the right as much as possible, extend your hammer all the way, and then again, not necessarily as much slow as it is steady, just steadily get yourself up here. And then from here, you only need a very small pogo to catch these rocks. Be very careful if you bounce, because it'll do that. But once you're here, you're usually good. From here, small pogo, get yourself up. Same with this one. Straight up, makes it easy. Physics likes to play tricks on you sometimes. It is very easy for your hammer to get caught between the thumb and the wall, so also pay attention to that. Just pull yourself slowly down and it'll usually dislodge itself without too much consequence. Also jump scare warning in like 3 seconds. And from here, you can launch yourself all the way over the top, or at least your hammer will go over. But I find the most consistent way is to launch yourself and catch your hammer on that little outcrop there. Like... Yep. There's also a strangely sticky wall, and I've never understood that. I never struggle with this. What's going on? What are you doing, Seigyo? Launch. I promise it's not as scary as it looks. There we go. Because from here, you just pogo over. And from here is usually pretty steady. It is hard to mess up from here. Now, in saying that, it can happen. Keep your wits about you. This is probably the easiest part of the run to me, is this rooftop. But it goes right into one of my least consistent sections. Because there are 2 ways that you can do this here, and either way you're going to encounter that little hat that's up there. My easiest way is to kind of position yourself a little bit more than halfway to the right here, then launch yourself and catch yourself up here. And as long as you are steady, again, not slow, steady, then you can get yourself up here and get yourself over. The other way, which I won't show because I'm not consistent at, is to go to the outcrop that is 1 to the top right of that and go from there. Launch yourself slightly to the top left and bring your hammer around. But as for this section here, because I've seen people get stuck, including myself, wedge yourself ever so slightly to the right, because you will fall down, but not all the way. point the tip of your wooden hammer over at the tip of the anvil and launch. And most of the time, that angle is going to be perfect, and you'll be able to catch yourself up there. So, point directly at the tip, launch. Easy peasy. And thankfully, there's not much consequence to falling down from here, so you can try that as many times as you need to. But similarly to the slippery rocks from earlier before the church, just slow, steady, get yourself up there. Pogo up here. Don't go right, because that's a trap. I say trap, it's no consequence. But from here, you want to pogo yourself over to this snowball here. Now, there are two methods that you can do from here. Most people I've seen say, get yourself over here and swing yourself over. That does work. I do not find it as consistent as slowly lowering yourself here and then pogoing over, because it is very hard to mess that up. So, to repeat with the other ones, slowly lower yourself, pogo. One more. Slowly lower yourself, pogo. And this is the section that messes up a lot of people here. It still messes me up a little bit, but once I'm on here, it's usually not a problem. It's just a matter of getting on there consistently. And then you do not need much momentum. As long as you get enough to get your hammer swinging that way, then you can usually make up the rest of the momentum yourself. But once it starts bouncing, it gets a little more troublesome. So just kind of whack away at it a little bit, and it will calm down. Shh, be good. You'll be okay, little bucket. I promise I won't be here too long. You just have to cooperate with me and let me on top of you. And it's a little too far to the right. This you can work with. I find it particularly troublesome to do so, though. So in that case, I find it easier to either rotate yourself, see if you can adjust your angle a bit, and go from there. There we go. That should be a good angle. I say as I see myself slowly sliding off, but you do not need a lot of speed. You can make up the most of it yourself with that swing. But from here, I get myself as close to the tippity-tip with the tip of my hammer, and then I want to pogo myself straight up. And that'll usually get myself to this comfortable position, and then from here, nice and steady, get yourself on top of here, and then you can easily let yourself down slowly, and launch. It is very hard to mess up that jump, I find. Now, this part I would say I am the least consistent at, but it is very hard to mess up to the point where you have to completely do over. As long as you are methodical about it, then you will not fall all the way down. And I would say there are two checkpoints to this. Once you are up over this little slope here, then you're usually very comfortably up here. And then with this section, slow and steady. Up. So you can see I was a little too quick there. But I saw the prize in sight and I was like, just let me up there, please. Because once you're on that last little nook there, then you are basically done. There we go. Because this hill is pitted with little holes for your hammer to get stuck in. Can't see them, but they are there. You're going to see them like this when it catches and goes on the inside. If you could see them, I'm sure they would be easier. Aha, here we go. So from here, it is free real estate. Because once you're up here, it's very hard to fall back down. And as long as you take this bit, and it is stickier than it looks, do not worry. Nice and steady. Then we are good. And the last little hurdle here, I say little, is the radio tower. Now this bit is tricky here, because you can see you're supposed to catch yourself on these dishes, but the edges there, they have little hooks there, like that camera. So it is very easy to get yourself and your hammer stuck in them. And if you're not all the way over, then like that, you will just slip right off. So it might take a couple of times to get it consistently, and yes, if you rush, that will happen. So do not rush. Our goal is slow and steady, we just want to get to the top. Because consistency is key, and once you got the consistency down, then you are golden. Okay. So you do not want to be on here. You want to be on this one here. And my angle is terrible, so I'm going to take this very slow. And I only want a small hop up here. Oop. Almost. It was actually too small a hop. I thought I could recover from that, but sadly no. Ba -ba -da -ba. Steady. And this is doing what I warned about before, where your hammer gets wedged in there and you just kind of have to deal with it. But, small hop. Same thing again. If that does happen, just lower yourself back down. You should be able to get the momentum to do it. And now we are home free. I don't know if it's possible to mess this bit up. I am not going to try. But you just slowly launch yourself over these. Your hammer will actually gravitate towards them. As you can see right now, I didn't quite make it, so it's probably going to slowly bring myself down to that previous one. Yep. You can see my hammer moving. I am not moving my mouse. Launch, and we are home free. And let's see where we are at. 17 minutes. So I'd say that's on the high average for me. I usually get around 15 to 16 minutes, and my best so far is around 14. So it's just a matter of getting that consistency down, and with the consistency comes confidence, comes speed. Once you got that down, you should be good. You'll see a lot of the speedrunners where they'll just swing themselves with reckless abandon. Their momentum carries them places that I would never be able to go to in my wildest dreams. But in this case, I am not a speedrunner. I am just a casual player. I just want to beat the game. And as you can see, I've now done that 16 times. So yeah. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And yeah, in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Good night. Good evening. Goodbye.